Hey, what's up, guys? How you doing? It's me, Mr. 4K Upscaler again. I purposely used my GoPro Hero 6 camera. It's recording in 1440p. I purposely zoomed it in closer to my Sony X900E. This is mainly done by a request. One of my subscribers, it's having a hard time trying to decide what is the best HDR brightness level for Far Cry 5 game. Currently I'm using the Xbox One X, but on PlayStation 4 Pro and on a PC, across the board, it's pretty much the same adjustment that will apply for all three versions. So what is it that you have to look for when it comes to HDR brightness? Well, one of the key features, and the reason they have this church here and the way this photo is presented with a lot of white bright elements. The church, it's in the white levels, it's painted in white, and the clouds are also visible in white. So the key thing you have to look to is make sure when you are adjusting your white bright levels of peak brightness, you want to make sure that the HDR doesn't go all the way to the overblown white bright levels. Meaning, if you can't see the detail of the clouds, which I'm going to show you in a minute here, if you can't see the detail of these clouds, right now you can see them because it's a paper white, but if you can't see the detail of these clouds, meaning if you can't see the gray and the white and the gray and the white being outlined, that means that you are overblowing your white bright levels and you are not getting the proper HDR treatment. So the question is, well then, what is the proper HDR treatment? Well, I will get to that later on this video, but first let me show you what you don't want to do. This is rule number one you don't want to do. This is what majority of people will do, those who don't understand how HDR peak brightness works, and this is the worst mistake you can do. Okay, I'm gonna push my slider all the way to the maximum, and I think you might even see it with this camera, just how much of detail on the clouds you're going to lose. And here I purposely zoomed in my camera a little bit. You see those clouds right here? Those clouds are way too white. They're way too white. It looks like a fog. That is not a natural formation of the clouds, meaning you are overblowing your white bright levels. Everything's overblown by the white bright levels. This is something you don't want to do. You don't want to go all the way maximum. Okay? So this is what you don't want to do. This is a no-no. All right? What you want to do is you want to make sure that you scroll down. This is the first step you have to do. Move the slider all the way to the maximum. Here. Move the slider, the yellow slider, all the way to the maximum. And then, as you are adjusting it, slowly move it down backwards, like this. Slowly move it down. Keep moving it, till you can see clouds in a formation. Okay, so let me show you an example of what you should do. Okay, so the church and the clouds are in good formation, meaning that you can see the clouds in a different types of color. You can see a little bit of gray here and a little bit of gray there, meaning that the clouds are in formation, in a colorful, natural formation. Nothing is being overblown, meaning your white bright levels are not overblowing that cloud detail. Just like your white bright levels here are not overblowing this side that's overshadowing of the church. You only see it here, where the natural light of reflection should be present on this side of the church. Now this is what you want to do. You want to leave it in the middle. I would say if you want to adjust your slider to be in the middle. That would be my recommended slider percentage. Keep it in the middle. Or you can simply do what I just told you to do in the beginning. Move your slider all the way to the maximum and then slowly keep moving it down till you get to see the formation of these clouds with gray and white, gray and white. You know how clouds sometimes they have a little bit of gray because they're forming? So that's what you want to see here. Now look what happens when I move my slider all the way to the maximum. You will see that the overshadowing of this church here, it's going to be overblown with bright white, and it's not going to look natural. The clouds here are not going to look natural. They will be all white bright. And that's what you want to avoid, which I'm going to show it to you right now. Okay, so this is a no-no. This is what you want to avoid. This is slider being put all the way to the maximum. This here is what you want to avoid. Okay, guys? You see the slider? Slider is all the way to the maximum. This is what you want to avoid. This is not good. Here, if you keep it like this, and I know majority of you are thinking, oh, peak brightness, meaning that I have to move my slider all the way to the maximum. You don't have to do that. You only have to do that with your TV on the backlit and the contrast. Okay? This right here, you don't want to mess with it all the way to the maximum. You want to keep it in the middle, and I'm going to show you the difference between keeping it in the middle and then difference keeping it all the way to the maximum. Right now it's all the way to the maximum, and look how beautiful it's going to look once I move my slider down to 50% below in the middle. Look what happens. Now you got yourself a nice HDR formation here. Remember the key word, it's balance. I think I said this previously on my videos. When you are calibrating, guys, when you are tweaking your picture, you have to always look for the balance. Balance is the key word that applies for everything. Not just for the calibration TVs, but for everything, you know, the way you work out, the way you eat, the way you live your lifestyle. Everything, it's a balance. The key word you're always looking for, it's a balance. Now, I don't mean to sound like some doctor or some entrepreneur or whatever, or like Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins is pretty cool. I like the guy. He knows his way around stock market, that's for sure. And he's very influential. But that out of the way, I don't know why I brought Tony Robbins in it. I don't know. I guess the influence. What I'm trying to tell you is, if you don't know how to tweak and calibrate your TV, I'll give you one important tip. Look for the word balance. Too much of sharpness, that was my mistake, not good. Too much of color, not good. Now, for the HDR content, we gotta have backlit and contrast all the way to the maximum. So that's something that you have to have. That's the important ingredients. But when it comes to the HDR slider, you want to keep it at the balance level. Okay? Okay, we're at the balance level here. Now look what happens when I go all the way to the maximum. It looks totally overblown. It looks ridiculous. It looks totally ridiculous. It looks like, I don't know, like it's burning. And now when we move it to the middle and the balance level, look at the difference. Drastic difference. So this is how you adjust the slider. Again, it's going to be a short video. I just want to do this video to help someone. I wanted to do the video in the morning, but I want to help this guy out tonight so that way he can have his slider. Because I know a lot of you guys are playing this video game and, you know, you're probably wondering, oh my God, you know, what should be my proper adjustments on the slider? Well, here, you can rest easy. You can sleep good at night tonight. Keep it at the balanced level. Keep it in the balanced level. That's what you want to do. You don't want to go all the way down. You want to keep it at the balanced level. Keep it in the middle. Keep it in the middle. And on that note, I'm going to end this video. Have a good night, guys. Don't forget, Friday, I'm going to be calibrating, and excuse me, I'll be tweaking picture settings on my Samsung KS8000 and TCL 55 P605, and of course my LG IPS 4K monitor, along with the BenQ 4K HDR projector, and also my Epson 1080p projector as well. All right, guys, thank you for watching. I'll catch you in the next video. Bye-bye.